I've been working at the Center for Documentary Studies since about 2000. I was working with exhibitions and public programs. And during that time, Sam Stevenson started working at the center, working on his book, Dream Street, which is W. Eugene Smith's Pittsburgh project. And we were putting up the exhibition here as well as producing the book at the center. And so I had a chance to see all the pictures, all of the pages as they were getting put into the book, and I got really excited about the photography. And so talking to Sam, I found out that W. Eugene Smith had a massive audio archive at the Center for Creative Photography in Tucson. And I was really excited to get a chance to listen to that when he raised the money to have those tapes transferred to CDs and to digital format files. So as soon as that happened, I expressed my interest to Sam, and he let me start listening to the tapes. And also, he was interviewing musicians and photographers who were around during the 50s and 60s who were on the tapes and who were friends of W. Eugene Smith and other musicians. So I was able to help him record those interviews on audio tape as well as through videography. So typically, if I was going to be working at the Jazz Loft Project basement here at the Center for Documentary Studies, I would come in the morning and make some tea, go get one of the CDs that W. Eugene Smith's tapes have been transferred to for listening purposes, pop it into my computer, sit down and start taking notes. And those notes are informed by the history of listening, by oral history interviews, also through a database of what was written on the tape labels in the 1950s and 60s by W. Eugene Smith and people who were working with him. And then I start taking notes. The notes are handwritten notes on notebook paper that go into giant notebooks. From those notebooks, I extract the important information that's hopefully useful, and I type that into a database. We're working with the database specialist, Michael Fitzgerald, who then takes my notes and creates those into the final database, which will be available for scholars and the public when the project is over. And so that's a normal day at the Center for Documentary Studies. One of the things I really like about listening to these tapes is the guilty pleasure of being a voyeur into the lives of people who Smith was recording, including Smith. I think that he recorded so much that a lot of times he wasn't even aware that he was being recorded, or he forgot about the tape player being on. So I feel like I'm getting a very unique view into the lives of people who are living their lives, trying to create art through photography, through music, struggling with different things, having fun, there's parties. And I also get to hear what they were listening to on the radio and television. So it's almost like being in the loft in a very weird sort of way. And while the tapes were made to document the loft, there's also a kind of guilty pleasure of being a voyeur and having this access into people's lives. And you learn a lot from listening to people, not just on the tapes, but in real life. But when you're forced to listen to a certain place for a certain period of time, then the sounds really take on a new life, and you learn a lot from that. As a professional listener, you have to really pay attention to everything and not just what seems like it's cool or musical or easily labeled, because there's a lot that falls in between when you're listening to somebody's life over 4 or 5 hours on one tape.